start with Thursday night, Navy and Memphis. It's the only game taking place on Thursday night in college football. We got Memphis 14.5-point home favorites in this game, 46.5 being the total here in this matchup. Early week thought is I'm doubtful I'm going to end up getting to the window and betting this football game. Memphis is not a team I'm comfortable laying 14.5 points with. My general opinion of Memphis is that since Ryan Silverfield has been the head coach, I find this program's been going downhill, hasn't been as good. You look at Army's results, there's very little you can get to take away from these games that they have played so far. They played Bethune-Cookman with a 56-14 win. And then they beat what could be one of the worst group of 5 teams right now in college football, Arkansas State, 37-3. That's now an Arkansas State team, by the way, that has lost by a combined score of 110-3 in their first 2 games. So that tells you all you need to know about how bad it is for Arkansas State right now. Navy on the flip side, look, I'm not excited, even though this is the point spread range, Conor, where you're getting them 14.5. If you're going to bet Navy, this is usually where you want to be backing them. But man, this offense, in the first couple of games of the season for the Midshipmen, didn't do anything against Notre Dame in a 42-3 loss. And even last week against Wagner, I wasn't all that impressed, really. I know they ended up racking up 245 rushing yards, but a lot of points left on the board. They get 24 in that victory. And again, you're talking about an offense that was supposed to be showing some different things this year. Of course, the triple option offense is sort of, taken aback and downgraded a bit by the fact that the cut blocking has been called illegal now in college football. But, against Wagner, I thought they could have probably done a little bit more job in terms of finishing drives and settling for just the 24 points there. And keep in mind, they were 42-point favorites. So the betting markets expected and the odds makers expected Navy to be able to score into the 40s in that game against Wagner, and they only ended up getting 24 points. So this is a bet against team versus a bet against team as far as I'm concerned. I ain't laying doubles with Memphis, but it's hard for me to trust Navy. Maybe you look under here in this Navy-Memphis game. Your Navy's not going to play at a fast pace. We actually thought we'd see them play a little bit quicker this year, but certainly in the Notre Dame game, that wasn't the case. They slowed things down like they always do. Memphis is a team that plays a little bit more faster pace, like a moderate tempo, if you will. They're not like extreme tempo, but moderate tempo, and they can score points in bunches. But their defense does look to be better. Now, how much can you take away from holding Arkansas State to 3? A pretty bad team and a pretty bad offense. But I'm not convinced Navy is anything but a bad offense right now. So maybe Memphis can have a pretty good defensive game again. So just the slightest of leans to Navy and the under, but this is probably not a game I'm betting. What do you think here, Conor?
Real quick, since you were going there on the total, both these teams, gone to the under towards the end of last year and early this year. So 4-6 for Navy and 5-6 for Memphis. I think this number's about right there. I real quick, I'd be on the points or nothing. I know Memphis is 5-1 against the number of the last 6. Seth Hennigan seems like he's been there for forever. They look pretty good. But Arkansas State, Vanno, I don't know. This team might be one of the worst bottom 5 if they can't definitely score, because we know the defense is bad. If they can't put any points up, 0 and a 3 spot to Memphis, man, they'll be in rough. Yeah, I just think it's a little large. Memphis might cover this, but I wouldn't be rushing and loving laying these points. And Navy, I want to see them go as, they've always kind of come out slow the last few years. You talked about the cut block. That's going on for all the schools we can bring up down the line here. We get to Army and Air Force as well there. So, yeah, I lean the points here, but it's just a lean.